Successive events. A successive event is two or more events that happen in a row or at the same time. So let's use our coin example again. And we want to look at the probability of getting two heads in a row. And just note, if you were flipping two coins at the same time, it'd be the same thing as getting two heads when you flip them at the same time. We can write this as the probability of getting a head and another head. And for successive events, we're going to have to multiply them together. So it's the probability of a head multiplied by the probability of getting a head. Well, we know the probability of getting a head is 1 out of 2, and the probability of getting another head is also 1 out of 2. Multiplying fractions, we times numerator by numerator and denominator by denominator, so 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 2 is 4. So the probability of getting two heads in a row is actually a quarter. What about three heads in a row? Well, that's just probability of getting the first head is a half, probability of getting the second head is a half, and the probability of getting a third head is a half, and we just multiply all those together, so all the numerators times each other. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So probability of getting three heads in a row is 1 out of 8. What about if you roll two dice at the same time? So we're looking at two dice. What's the probability of getting two sixes? So we can write that as probability of getting a 6 and a 6. And that's just going to be the probability of getting a 6 multiplied by the probability of getting a 6. We know the probability of getting a 6 is 1 out of 6. And the probability of getting another 6 is also 1 out of 6. Numerator times numerator gives us 1. Denominator times denominator, 6 times 6 is 36. So the probability of getting two sixes when you roll two dice is 1 out of 36. What about combining successive events and compound events? And we'll look at that with our dice combination when we're rolling two dice. What's the probability of getting a double? So the probability of getting a double, that just means the probability of getting a 1 and a 1, or a 2 and a 2, or a 3 and a 3, or a 4 and a 4, or a 5 and a 5, or a 6 and a 6. We can't get all these at the same time. So when I roll two dice, I can't get a double 1 and a double 2. So all of these become compound events, but each one on its own is a successive event. So each one on its own I need to multiply, but at the end I need to add all these together because they can't all happen at the same time. Usually the word or in probability means to add probabilities together, and the word and, so here I want a 1 and a 1, means to multiply. So the probability of getting a 1 and a 1 is 1 out of 6 times 1 out of 6, because they have to happen together. Same with the 2 and the 2, 1 out of 6 times 1 out of 6. Same with the 3 out of 3. Same with the 4 out of 4. Same with the 5 out of 5. And same with the 6 out of 6. But all these are compound events, so they all need to be added together. So each one of these is 1 out of 36. They all needed to be added together, and there's 6 of them. They all have the same denominator, which means we just keep that denominator the same and add the numerators. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 gives us 6. So we get 6 out of 36. Can be simplified by dividing both of these by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 36 divided by 6 is 6. So the probability of getting a double when you roll 2 dice is 1 out of 6.